Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbeeni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Social Bee podcast. Today I'm going to be talking to Kerry Coleman of kerrycoleman.social. Kerry and I are actually both together in a group coaching program, and that's how I've got to know Kerry. And I thought it would be really great to bring her on the podcast to talk about not just about her business, but also why we both have taken the step of investing in training for ourselves as entrepreneurs. Kerry, welcome along to the podcast today.
Hi Louise, thank you.
Delighted to have you on board, Kerry. First of all, just to really introduce yourself to everybody who's listening, can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Sure. So I started out work at the White Company as a marketing assistant, and I moved up through the ranks for the 5 years that I was there, and then left after having my first child. I then took a promotion as head of direct marketing at Links of London. And I was there for a few years before my husband at the time relocated to Wiltshire. We were living in London, and I was struggling with the commute. So I decided to give up my role at Links of London. And I just happened to, at the same time, receive a phone call from the ex-MD of the White Company saying that he'd bought a business and he was looking for someone to do a bit of freelance marketing for him, and would I help? So it just pretty much fell into my lap. He didn't want someone in the office. It meant I could work from home and I could work for myself. So that sort of started me freelancing. And I went into project management of new website builds. While I was at Links of London, I was given the task or the project of building this new website and recruiting a web developer, a web agency to build it for us. It was a huge project. I think it was about £200,000 to build. And I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the project management. And the ex-MD of the White Company also wanted to build a new website. So I project managed that. And then that led on to more and more work through project managing new website builds. So I built these, or I didn't build myself, but I assisted in building the website for Sweaty Betty and lots of other brands. And my niche is probably premium and luxury retailers or e-commerce brands, and that's what my background is. In 2012, I took a career break and didn't really do much. I set up another little business where I was selling homemade giftware, going to all the gift shows and little craft markets and sell it with my own stall and selling all the lovely sort of handmade gifts and homeware that I'd found across the country. And then I had my second child, and I decided that I really needed to do something else. And one of my old clients just happened to phone me up out of the blue and say, can you come work for us just one day a week, just doing a bit of marketing? And so I agreed. And at the time, they had a Facebook page, but wasn't sure what to do with it. And social media hadn't been around when I was working in full time. And so this was quite a new thing for me. So I just decided to do what I could do with it and really enjoyed it. And I knew I wanted to find more clients for social media, but having had a career break, the digital marketing space is so fast paced that if you're out of it for a while, you do tend to lose your skills. But I knew I really wanted to do it. I wanted to find more clients. And so I basically looked for a course in social media. And that's where I found the Digital Mums course. So I retrained for 6 months in social media, and then I set up my own consultancy for social media for premium and luxury brands. And that's sort of where it's taken me up to today. So just growing.
It's brilliant because all of the things that you've done have all really led into each other, haven't they? I mean, the fact that you work for premium brands are your customer. And
Yes.
that's who you started out with. You know, the
Yes.
links of London for people who don't know those companies, maybe who aren't in the UK.
Yeah.
Those are premium brands. But what I love is that you weren't afraid to invest in your training.
No. And it was an investment. It wasn't, it wasn't, there were many courses out there where you could just go for a day and learn social media in a day for £60. Mm-hmm. But I knew that and I think that's great if you are a small business and you want to do it yourself, then I think that's fantastic. Mm. But for me, because I wanted to go to similar brands that I had already worked for in the past and say, I know social media, I know everything there is to know about social media, I felt like I had to train in it, and I had to train thoroughly.
Yeah.
And so it was an investment. It wasn't, it wasn't the cheapest of the courses out there, but I knew it was also very well structured. Uh-huh. And what I loved about it as well is that you were given a live client. So after about, I think it's like 6 weeks of training, you were then given a client who you worked for. So while you were learning, each time you learned something, you then implemented it with this client. So by the end of the 6 months, you actually had about 5 months of experience, client experience, dealing with a client, working with a client, and actually implementing the social media. So it was a monetary investment, but it was also, investing in myself to get me ready to go out there and find new clients.
That's really interesting. I'm from the point of view of the people who took on people like yourself to come in and kind of like be guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Do you think that was quite risky for them?
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, a lot of them are startups.
Okay.
They have to pay to be part of the course.
Okay.
But they're obviously getting 5 months of social media relatively. I wouldn't say costly, but it's worth doing for them. But also, I think, I know certainly for my clients, I wanted to do 150% for them because I had paid to be on this course, and I was going to do my best. I graduated with 100%, and that's because I just was so determined to do well on the course. And so I think my client actually had someone, and I would say this for, probably all of the clients or most of the clients, that you actually get someone who's really keen and really eager to make it work. Mm-hmm. So I think, it could be seen as a risk, but actually I think it's, and everything is signed off anyway. So you would never, you were always agreeing everything. You agree your campaign, you agree your hashtags, you would agree the content, the types of content, the images, etc. So you were never sort of left to your own devices on someone's social media channels. It was all monitored very carefully. But it's a really interesting concept to have this live learning. And I don't know whether there are more training programs like it now, but certainly when I was doing it, it was one of its, it was one of its kind. I don't think anyone else was doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I find that really interesting. And then once you finished your course, how difficult did you find it, Kerry, to start getting like what I would call proper client? Like,
well, when you finish the Digital Mums part of the course, they find you your first client.
Okay.
So they have businesses coming to them looking for social media managers, and they will match you with your first client. So I expressed an interest in premium luxury retailers, e-commerce brands, and so they found me a brand in the beauty sector. So I worked, I had a project with them for 8 months working on their Instagram account.
Wow.
And you also, once you graduate, you get put into a private Facebook group for graduates. It's their Facebook alumni. And in there, digital mums would post jobs that came up anyway, so you could apply that way. So it wasn't easy finding work, but I think because of my background, I found it easier than others, I think.
Well, from listening to you talk about it, I think that digital mums isn't really a thing in Northern Ireland particularly. I think that the people who got you were probably really lucky, Kerry. All your background, like to have your, I'm doing quote fingers in the air, your prompt background in marketing. Yes. I think they were pretty lucky.
Yeah, I mean, there was set criteria for doing the course. So you were actually interviewed for the course.
Oh, okay.
And yes, and it was, you had to fill out an application process, and they preferred it if you had a background in marketing, PR, communications. So we all sort of had that background. And the reason why Digital Mums was set up in the first place was because the owners recognised that there was an awful lot of mums who had successful careers, had taken a career break to bring up their children, but want to go back to work, but want work that's flexible and fits around their children.
Yes.
And so they saw this gap in the market where these mums who are highly skilled could actually do social media, because you can do it anywhere. Yeah. You don't have to be in an office 9 to 5, Monday to Friday to do it. And in fact, you have to be flexible when you do social media because it's 24 hours. So I think that was the reason why the course was set up. So yeah, I was. I did have this background, and there are some digital mums that don't have that same background, but there are, I would say a lot of us that do have that background in marketing, PR, or communications.
Very good. And how do you find your clients now?
That's a good question.
How do they find you?
Well, again, a lot of them come through the Facebook alumni. So I apply for jobs through, they're advertised, and I apply through there. I found a few clients through a contact I had when I was working at the White Company. They were a data agency specialising in e-commerce. And I just happened to get in contact with them for another client of mine, and they asked me what I was doing. I told them I was working in social media, and they said that they're sort of, the next level up, they are agency level. And they often get businesses coming to them wanting to use them, but their budget is too low. So they still want to do social media. They still want to have someone do their social media for them. So they've passed work on to me. Or pass those businesses on to me to take on that work. So I've acquired clients that way. Some of it's word of mouth. I'm using LinkedIn more, so I'm hoping. It's not I have to say, it's not my favourite social media channel because I'm very visual and creative. So I love Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. But I realised that I need to get back onto LinkedIn.
Yes, I really like LinkedIn. Probably because I get work from it.
I know. Well, you need to teach me. I need to do one of your courses in LinkedIn.
So I'm hearing that basically, I think you're really good at leveraging your network, and I think you're a bit too modest. So the people, your ex-boss from the White Company who got in touch with you about the website building role and stuff, that was because you were good at your job when he first worked with you. And I think that you're good at connecting with people and getting that network. So, but one thing you mentioned before we came on the call was about your actual local networks. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I've been a committee member for the last 2 or 3 months for our local town's Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And I sort of fell into that. So